Misbehaving tourists and foreign nationals in Bali will be prosecuted. Governor Koster reveals about his new rules. Yes, Governor Koster is in the news again. Now he's back as the governor. And Governor Koster firmly says beaches in Bali must not be controlled by businessmen. Community has right to coastal access. Good for the governor on this one. And what has he got to say about all this? Well, stay tuned for details on these and other stories. Selamat pagi. Welcome to the latest news from Bali in Indonesia. This is March 6th, 2025, and my name is Bruce. And happy birthday to my fourth grandchild. Birthdays, all the time. Lots of grandchildren. Okay, what is the weather like today? Well, it's a little overcast, and it is already warm at 9:30 in the morning. It is 30 degrees Celsius, and humidity all the way up there at 80%. And the wind speed is, how much is the wind speed? 6.4 kilometers per hour. And we had just a tiny bit of rain last night, some drizzle yesterday during the day. Wow, it was beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful day, another beautiful day. And I don't know about today. Yeah, it is hazy and cloudy. And as I said, the humidity is up there. So we'll just have to wait and see. But have not had any extreme weather recently, and so that is really good news. Okay, so first two stories about the governor and about misbehaving tourists and what he's going to do about that, and then about this whole issue with coastal access. And this goes back to the Serangan Island problem, which I've been talking about a number of times. And there is also an update on the Mengwi Gilimanuk Toll Road. This is getting to look like the North Bali International Airport. Misbehaving tourists and foreign nationals in Bali will be prosecuted, Governor Koster reveals about his new rules. The Bali governor emphasized that the government will immediately implement strict regulations to discipline tourists and foreign nationals who do not obey the rules in Bali. I guess that foreign nationals are those of us that are here on kind of residence visas. This regulation aims to maintain order, security, and cultural and social harmony on the island of the gods. In his speech on Tuesday, the governor highlighted various problems caused by tourists and foreign nationals who behave inappropriately. How are they behaving inappropriately? Well, some of these include traffic violations, illegal businesses, and acts that disrupt local culture. Traffic violations? Well, there are so many, and it's not just us. Tourists who come to Bali must respect our rules and culture. There should be no more tourists who violate traffic rules, rent motorbikes without rules, or even open businesses without permits. We will take firm action, said the governor. Wow, there are a number of issues with that. Renting motorbikes, wow, without rules. Okay, tourists do that. What about the people that rent them motorbikes? This was supposed to be taken care of several years ago when the governor said that they were going to be checking on people renting motorbikes, and people had to have permits from the government and licenses that had to show that they were doing things on the up and up, making sure that the tourists had a license and all of that. And did that happen? I don't think so. In terms of not obeying traffic rules, yeah, they should obey traffic rules, but so should everybody else. And this is another case of new regulations not needed, enforce the regulations that exist. But that's just my old song. As a concrete step, the Bali provincial government will immediately form an integrated team consisting of the Bali provincial government, Bali police, and related agencies to carry out control operations. And how many teams have already been started about this? There are so many, and then they just kind of disappeared, vanish into the air like smoke. Some of the key points in this regulation include control of vehicles with plates from outside Bali and foreign national drivers. Okay, so control of vehicles who have plates from outside Bali, that's not really something that is an issue with foreigners. That's an issue with Indonesians from other islands. Foreign tourists who do not have a driving license and violate traffic rules will be subject to strict sanctions. Motorcycle rentals to tourists without clear rules will be monitored more strictly. And that would seem to be the onus would fall on the Indonesians renting out the motorbikes. Supervision of illegal businesses by foreign nationals. Foreign nationals who run businesses without official permits will be prosecuted. Nominee practices or use of local residents' names for illegal business ownership will be thoroughly examined. Enforcement of rules against tourist behavior that does not respect local culture. What could those things be? Going into temples without dressing properly, wandering around naked, half naked. Oh, well, there's so many different things. Peeing on the temple walls, that's been an issue for years now. Relation to that, tourists who dress inappropriately in holy places or carry out actions that damage the image of Balinese culture will be subject to sanction. Increased education for tourists about cultural norms and ethics in Bali. And what happened to the do's and don'ts that were going to be handed out at the airport? And well, that thing just kind of went. And then recently I talked about how the police were going to talk to the consulates and tell them that they needed to tell their nationals to behave and what the rules are and all of that. And so this has been discussed over and over and over again. So this is nothing really new. By talking about it, it sounds like the government is doing something about it. Koster appreciates the steps taken by the Bali police chief, who has begun to take action at a number of tourist destinations. He emphasized that this operation will continue to be expanded so that Bali remains a comfortable and classy tourist destination. Remember those quality tourists. If there is no firm action, quality tourists will be reluctant to come to Bali. This is a serious threat to our tourism image. Therefore, we will ensure that all these rules are enforced consistently. Is that an echo? I think I've heard this before. With this regulation, it's hoped that Bali can maintain a balance between tourism industry and the preservation of culture and the comfort of local communities. Tourists who come to Bali are expected to be able to enjoy the island while still respecting the applicable rules. But in terms of all of the foreigners that come in here, let's say 6 million a year, what is the actual percentage of people who are behaving badly? They certainly get a lot of press. And one of the issues is that rules are sometimes enforced and sometimes they're not enforced, particularly in terms of traffic issues. And that goes for foreigners and locals. And consistent enforcement of the existing rules might go a long way to dealing with some of these issues. And what does the governor have to say about the beaches? Places closing beaches, like some hotels saying the beaches are off limits because the hotel owns the beach. They do not. Businesses have closed part of the sea, put out the buoys, and talked about that Serangan Island a number of times already. Well, let's see. Governor Koster firmly says beaches in Bali must not be controlled by businessmen. Community has right to coastal access. The Bali governor emphasized his commitment to protecting Bali's coast so that it is not controlled by entrepreneurs and remains public property. In his first speech, after being inaugurated on the 20th of February in Jakarta, the governor said new regulations would be implemented to ensure that the Balinese people would continue to have full access to the beaches and coastline. Koster says many tourist accommodations such as hotels and villas claim the beaches around them as exclusive areas so that the general public cannot access them. According to him, this must be stopped for the sake of the local community's customs, social and economic interest. Nowadays, the beach is increasingly difficult for local people to use because hotels and villas seem to own the beach. And what about beach clubs? This is certainly not good for the future of Bali. Therefore, we will create regulations that protect the rights of the community so that they are not disturbed in carrying out traditional social or economic ceremonies. Governor said this day before yesterday. As an initial step, the governor ordered dismantling of the sea fence at Serangan Island, which had previously hampered fishing activities. He stressed that tourism entrepreneurs only own land, not beaches, so they should not limit public access. To protect the community's right to beaches and coastline, the Bali provincial government will soon issue a regional regulation, PERDA, regarding coastal protection. In addition, the governor emphasized that the practice of prohibiting traditional ceremonies such as a devotion on the beach will be stopped. Think beach clubs. There should be no prohibition for people who want to worship on the beach. We must protect this because more and more people are having difficulty accessing the beach for customary purposes. The regulation will also be a legal instrument to regulate vehicles with plates from outside Bali, drivers without ID cards from outside Bali, and tourism transportation business actors who do not comply with the rules. And this is that whole issue of tourist transportation. Koster emphasized that the behavior of foreign tourists who do not respect the culture and rules in Bali will be dealt with firmly, as I said in the previous story. And the governor finished up saying that if there's no control over tourists behaving badly, Bali's image as a world tourist destination will be tarnished. And this need for new regulations, I don't know why there's a need for all this. Enforce what's here already. But not my island. Sometimes common sense things just seem to vanish in the wind. Okay, and what about the mythical toll road from Mengwi to Gilimanuk? Well, that is becoming, as I said at the start of this video, that's becoming kind of like the North Bali International Airport. Mengwi Gilimanuk Toll Road, not included in PSN. Koster, still undergoing design change study. More studies. President Prabowo did not include the Mengwi Gilimanuk Toll Road project in the 2025-2029 National Strategic Projects, that's the PSN. Yesterday, the governor explained the reason why the Mengwi Gilimanuk Toll Road was not included in the 2025-2029 PSN. The governor said the toll road project had not been included in the 2025-2030 PSN because there were still several things that needed to be fixed. The Mengwi Gilimanuk Toll Road is still under design change study. A lot of studies. The chairman of the Bali DPD said that the Gilimanuk Mengwi Toll Road is very much needed by the people of Bali because this route is currently always experiencing congestion. In addition, this route is also prone to traffic accidents, and I've talked about this so many times. Starting from the many winding slopes, this two-way road is also still used by large vehicles, family vehicles, and motorbikes, making it prone to accidents. The traffic jam on this road from Gilimanuk to Mengwi is extraordinary, so it's very urgent, he said. Regarding whether his party will look for investors or the private sector to build the toll road, the governor could not yet confirm. This was an issue 3 years ago, because according to him, building toll roads requires a large cost because they cannot be built in stages. Shortcuts are different from toll roads. The Singaraja-Mengwi shortcut can continue. This toll road must undergo further processing. For your information, previously the construction of the Gilimanuk Mengwi Toll Road was included in the PSN during the Jokowi period. However, since groundbreaking on September 10, 2022, progress has been stalled until now. Finally, in 2024, the Toll Road Regulatory Agency of the Ministry of Public Works and Public Housing announced that the Gilimanuk Mengwi Toll Road project had entered the pre-qualification stage. They were taking bids. The 96.84 kilometer long toll road consists of an investment of up to 25 trillion rupiah. The scope of the project includes funding, technical planning, operation, maintenance for the entire road, as well as construction implementation. The toll road is going to cross 3 districts in Bali. So for the qualification process, the bidding to construct this road, all business entries, whether sole or consortium, are permitted to register. However, the pre-qualification stage failed because the initial initiator failed to obtain funding or investors to carry out the construction. As a result, the toll road project, which was expected to speed up travel time from Gilimanuk to Denpasar, is still stalled. And now the construction of the toll road is not included in the 2025-2029 PSN list. Even though it is not included in this list, it does not mean the construction of the project will not be built or will be canceled. And this has been said many times. And what's happening? Nothing. It's just that the priority of funds from the central government will be directed to PSN projects. So, in other words, don't count on money coming from the central government to do this. They're going to be funding the PSN projects. Where is the funding going to come from? It was supposed to come from the private sector, but so far they haven't had any luck with that. And as I've talked about in many videos over the last couple of years, there have been demos and demos and demos for the governor, for the president, asking what's happening here, what's happening, we're waiting, we've got land, we want to use the land, but people say that they're going to use the land to create the toll roads, and can we farm it, can we not farm it, can we build houses, can we not build houses, what's going on? Well, it looks like uncertainty is going to continue. Okay, that is it for today. Thanks for viewing. Be kind to someone today, and take care, and I will see you next time.